LastPass most recent security breach, state-of-the-art observability in 2022, and the way to secure your APIs using OAuth2. Those are the highlights of Architecture Weekly number 49, and this is the first issue of the new 2023. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and of course provide your comments about the articles that I share with you. Let's go! Password managers are in a widespread nowadays. They help us build in the secure, long, unrootable passwords and use them across many websites. LastPass is one of those services, but it was plagued by security issues for its whole history. But now the latest breach should be a wake-up call for everybody still using the service. There's a new post on the InfoSec exchange that explains why LastPass is not the best choice to store your passwords in, including weak encryption, ignorance of security reports, and many more. Speaking about the security, we as architects usually build systems which uses a lot of microservices, and we need to protect them somehow. We need to provide proper authentication and authorization. The problem is that we want to separate the knowledge about users and their permissions from the actual service. Here we might appreciate the help of OAuth2 protocol. In this article we will find out the links to the RFCs and the list of best practices that you want to use for several different situations while implementing your microservice application. And the last highlight for today, the state-of-the-art observability. So observability nowadays is the common part of every system. We want to know how it behaves, what's happening inside it, and we want to find out what's happening with the request inside it. So here in this particular article, the author Daniel Gonzalez de la Hera covers what it means to have the proper observability nowadays. What do we really want to see there, including logs, traces, alerting systems, and many more. Okay, time for follow-up. And the first one is from Timescale Technical Blog. So they base their solution on the PostgreSQL, but they really focus on the time series data. And if you find your specialty, you can provide incredible optimizations, like 1000 faster queries or 90% less storage required for your data. In this particular blog post, they describe how they managed to do that, provide the benchmarks, and explain a little bit how they do that in particular. Next one is about the software design and architecture. For me, in order to go from an intern at Motorola to a solution architect title at EPAM, it took 10 years. I would really appreciate some help in the form of a map or just a list of the knowledge that I need to go through in order to climb the ladder faster. Lucky you are, because I'm sharing an article which does exactly that. It describes all the levels of the software architecture that you need to go through in order to be able to design software systems. I would say that this article lacks a couple of stages that you want to learn as well, but this is a very first good try. Next one is about Kubernetes and the requirement of KubeProxy there. When we want to find a particular pod to handle the request by, we might bet the DNS system would solve this problem, because it is exactly the purpose of DNS, resolving the hosts by their names. In a microservice environment, the pods come and go much faster than websites and their A records. That's why we need KubeProxy, and the detailed explanation you can find in the article down there. Okay, next one is microservices integration using contract-driven development. In a microservice environment, we want to ensure that the services are talking to each other properly. In order to do so, we might employ the integration test and verify that once the functionality is developed, it works properly. However, it is too late in the development cycle and we want to have a much shorter feedback loop. How to do that? We can employ contract testing and verify that the services are behaving properly in an isolated environment, just verifying that they abide to their contract. Of course, it requires to describe this contract in the first place, but that's what Protobuf or OpenAPI is all about. Read the article on InfoCube blog for the details. And the last one for today is Kafka streaming, transformation patterns, and message reprocessing. Several months ago at Bolt, we faced a similar problem. We wanted to refactor our system that was sending a lot of records to an external system from cron-based and virtual queues in the database to something more like streaming using Kafka or Amazon SQS. And we wanted to design a system that will be able to handle the errors. Like when you have a errors record, you want not to block the whole queue, but actually send it somewhere for reprocessing. And in this article, like 2 hours ago, I literally found the proper solution. So follow the article if you're interested in that solution as well. And that's it for today. Thank you very much. I wish you a very pleasant start of the year. Hopefully it will bring us peace, tranquility, and some fancy challenges. Thank you very much. If you like the content, please leave a like. Of course, subscribe to the channel. And if you really enjoy the content that I create, there are links to Patreon and Boosty down below. Thank you very much and see you next week.